And before I go any further, can you hear my drum? Wow, nice. All right, we won't have to deal with that later. Perfect. I finally figured it out with some extra help. Okay, so go ahead and take a nice deep breath in. Let it all go. And just take a moment to drop into your seat, your space, with no sense of pressure or expectation. Perhaps today we can take the gentle approach as we feel first into our surroundings and try to start from trust so we can really feel safe with each step that we take. And as we just arrive to our seats today, if you're joining me later online, I'm Eli Rin, all pronouns, coming to you from the southern lands of Turtle Island, and really feeling connected to the water by the bayou in New Orleans, and well, not literally next to it, but I've been near it, and feeling that sort of heft of the South. There's so much depth, community, there's so much beauty, and there's so much grief. And this week is kind of the end of one of the global strike weeks that folks in Palestine have called out for us to partake in. And as I've been participating in actions and just kind of moving with my community, I've been really thinking this week about what makes me feel like I can move through it. What really is the thing I can rest in? This morning I was sitting with myself. I had was doing a little carving, and then I stopped because it was just like coast. There's these little like southern thunderstorms where it's 65. So I'm sure somebody here might say it's cold. For me, I'm like, wow, balmy summer storm. It feels great. It was -20 last week where I was. So this is great for me. And I took a moment to just sit and breathe and just be there. And I was thinking of like the power of drawing from within, what that means, and how it can be scary to approach that kind of language. And I'll talk more about it. But a lot of productivity, capitalist, kind of the way we've been socialized these days is the kind of, can be boiled down to the like pull yourselves up by your bootstraps, right? That's the like American motto, an impossible saying that really kind of makes no sense. But drawing from within, pulling from internal sources is something I think of that's very different. And I don't know why, when I was sitting on the porch, I just thought of like the feeling of having, even when you're a little kid or an adult, but I thought of it when I was a little kid, of like having tied a little bag around my waist and like filled like a couple rocks or like some coins or like a pretty feather or something in it and like touching it while I walk, right? And so like that image of like just having a little pouch close to my person, that feeling came to me, and thinking of having resources close to us as like an instinct that we've always had, right? To gather up the things we need and to keep them close so that we can take from them. As that as even an internal resource, like the things we carry, the people around us, shifting internal from my own bootstraps, being able to just like lift myself and defy gravity to thinking of what's been living in me, right? And how can I draw from that? That's a much bigger well. It's not so confined to this form for me. I don't know, just that logic has been really helpful for me this week. And maybe it might resonate with some of y'all or you. And so in our practice this week, I just wanted to invite that spirit into the room of one, what am I carrying, right? What am I holding close? Not just what do I need to release. That's a classic 1-2 meditator route. Let's break our, habit forms. Even our rituals can be mixed up. But what am I carrying that feels good? What is holding me together, right? What is letting me move through this world with ease? What voices do I hear throughout the week, right? That sing to me. We were talking before I started the recording. I spoke about my aunt's voice that I can hear, my grandmother's voice, different sort of people humming. There's a little dog coming if you hear some footsteps. But who are we carrying through these days? How can they wade with us? So as we invite Mother Harriet into this practice today, we're just gonna dive into singing and the mantra first, do the breath after. Sometimes it's nice to get still and, seep in before charging up. But also sometimes when I find myself hesitant, when I find myself in those places of stuckness, I also can draw an appreciation of the pattern of like galvanizing my breath and then sounding it, right? Sometimes there's something already arisen. I don't need to wait for more to arise because there's something there that I can't quite figure out. And so instead of, putting that to the side and being like, oh, what's in the slow waters? Maybe there's a fast water behind me that I need to, splash over my head to cool me off first before I'm ready. Maybe there's something else. So just opening up to that space today, we will move into our mantra practice and prayers and song. And then we'll do breath. That'll be our overall structure. But we'll have a couple, maybe 3 or 4 minutes here as we kind of transition. So take a moment to just take a deep breath in and out. Perhaps even take a couple audible sighs. So you could take a deep breath in. A few sighs out. Perhaps you take a roll of the neck or shoulders. Breathing out and stretching. Even a gentle shake. And we'll take a moment to drop in with the drum today. As we perhaps visually take a moment to approach a wide river just after the sun sets, the moon's rising. Perhaps during this whole drum beat, we're just in the forest path. Maybe we just hear the river off in the distance. Someone's filling water. Maybe we can even borrow that sound right now if you can hear that through my camera. There's water running. But we're just feeling our feet on the earth. There's plenty of time before we approach anything different. The moonlight reaching out to us through the trees. We take breaths as we walk a little clearing path. Earth starts to get a little more and more damp with each step, signaling to us, maybe in half a mile or so, a creek or a river might open up. As we breathe and move with the moonlight, we think of that drawing from within as we're always trying to, there's this language of not clutching, not grasping, not attaching. what do we trust then, right? It can often feel like, okay, I've stopped grabbing, but now I'm just falling. Or now I'm just, free spiraling. There's nothing to hold on to. And so where is the earth within me? So that not clutching, right? If I think of my physical form, not grasping and reaching for something can turn into just being here with me. I can feel the gentle hold of my own body and know a stable form that is deteriorating, decaying, dying, living, changing, growing, but it's here right now. And so for this moment, let me ground into it without a narrative or story so that I don't have to grieve it the next moment so much, right? I can just let that me arise and ground into that again. My continuity, if I need any, just the breaths that link me. And so we walk towards the water. And as we continue to walk, we start to approach the shore. The water moves, gentle waves against rocks. We feel the moonlight in our breath. We start to feel the water just gently filling the space of the rocks beneath our feet, the space in the sand. We're not submerged at all, but we're close to the edge of the river. We feel the trees standing with us nearby, blowing in the wind. perhaps whoever our protectors are, all of our protectors, can be heard in Mother Harriet's voice. As we chant our mantra with her of Gati, Gati, Para, Gati, Parasam, Gati, Bodhi, Sva. Gone beyond, gone completely beyond, awakening, so be it. With this chant, awakening, so be it. With this breath, awakening, so be it. Right? With everything we have, liberation, may we experience it together. Gati, Gati, Para, Gati, Parasam, Gati, Bodhi, Swaha. 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 second, we'll just sit in the energy of our own making. Perhaps we just notice how that feels. Right? What happens when we sit in the lingering vibrations of our own voice, of our own listening. Let's just make a little space to explore. As we find ourselves by the river, or as we linger just in the sounds of the chant, of the mantra, of going beyond. We might, without expectation today, just ask ourselves, where do I feel drawn to go? Where do my feet take me? Do I feel the urge to plant myself in this spot? Do I feel the urge to move? Without feeling like there's somewhere to go, where am I called? And how do I find myself answering that call? And with kind of that invitation, we might move into our communal prayers, which I'll post in the chat. And we can recite together with whatever gesture feels like holding or offering to you today. May all beings be free. May those suffering experience liberation. May we hold each other through revolution. May we abolish everything that is not love. May we rebirth a free world. Ashe. Svaha. So be it. And today we move into our spiritual offering, singing together. I'm just going to type it because I don't have it ready. It's short. Times 2. Okay. Okay, so we'll do We Shall Not Be Moved Today. Feel free to move around. Sorry, I'm in the middle of an online class, but feel free to move around. Perfect. I'm glad you're here to participate. The person my partner is subletting from is here, and the dog, for the first time, has not barked at me at the same time that they're in the room, only while we're doing this meditation. So,
yeah, she's really like,
yeah, we're going to keep this vibe going, everybody. But we have our spiritual in the chat, We Shall Not Be Moved. And before we sing together today, we're going to sing an extended version of this that involves the Free Palestine chant. So I'll type that now so I don't have to type it later. There's a typo, but I'm sure you can understand that. It's just Palestine. We'll be free in that last sentence. The first time I ever started this practice of spiritual seeking for myself, I think I maybe told this story, but I don't know if I told the whole story yet. I did it in one space, but maybe not this space. I was having this dream over the summer a lot. I was having a bunch of different dreams, this whole year really, that involve Harriet Tubman and singing and spirituals and water and sitting, and I was hearing her hum to me, "We shall not be moved," this melody of "We shall not be moved" over and over again. Not with the lyrics, and that was a song I had already, like, it's a song I've heard in growing up hearing, like, the black church sing it, as, like, just a black spiritual, traditional one. So I knew the melody already, and I had been looking it up that summer, so it was, like, in my head. And then I kept on hearing her sing it. And the first time, or hum it, and the first time she sang to me in a dream, it wasn't the words of the song, but it was after a really long day of protesting to, like, the melody of "We shall not be moved." I remember, like, so vividly in my dream, I was just kind of, like, feeling really defeated. It was a long day of protesting. It was in Chicago. Actions there can get really rough, and maybe I'm just there most frequently, right? That's my home base now, so I'm just there. That's where those are my trenches, and so that's where I've come across a lot of, like, police brutality and things like that, and this was just a really long day that was bringing up a lot of that for me. And when I was dreaming and hearing her hum, I kind of, like, must have, melded in. I feel like when I go home from protesting, I almost fall asleep singing the chants, right? Because it's just in my body. You live it all day, and you're embodying it. And so I was hearing to the tune of "We shall not be moved," "Palestine will be free. Palestine will be free. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free." And it just nestled into that "We shall not be moved" melody perfectly. And I, like, woke up crying and just feeling that song and her voice and my voice and just, like, the ancestral voice, right? That is not just everybody past, but everybody to come and everybody now. Just us. Us in a way that I don't feel like I'll even start to describe, because any description would get farther from what I mean, right? That us. And so today, we'll sing both of those. It'll just be one long refrain. So we'll do the "We shall not be moved," and then we'll do a humming stanza, if paragraph, however you say that in song. I don't know, I'm a writer, not a songstress. And then the Palestine chant refrain at the end. So we'll get a chance to approach that river, right? Get next to that water, and just let the words move you. It's something Aaron Johnson, a song leader, a black song leader and spiritual leader, was saying over the summer leading a song circle was, you listen so deeply that you have to act, right? Our listening is our action, because listening means our hands start moving. We start clapping, we start stomping. Our witnessing is our action, because you can't witness fully without being moved, right? And so that movement, we can't let that die. It deserves to be fulfilled. Those movements, our emotions tugging at us, that grief tugging us into deep witnessing, deserves to be looked at, to have its moonlight shine upon it. And so today, we'll sing by the water, rooted. We'll hum in the tides. And then we'll bask, sit in awareness in that liberation, that dream, that aspiration at the end that's already becoming true as we dream it. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. Like a tree planted by the water, we shall not be moved. Palestine will be free. Palestine will be free. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. Breathing in and out before we go again a few times through, twice through that whole kind of segment, really inviting yourself to send those vibrations into the earth, to draw from within, as you breathe in, inhale the mud, the muck, the rubble of the earth, and use that as the fuel for your voice, for the churning of this grief into liberation. Exhale, emit that voice back into the ground. Perhaps so that each being trapped under rubble, each being calling out for help, each even mushroom decomposing into earth, unfolding a tree log into mulch, can hear our solidarity. And not just that they can hear it, that we can connect in that transmission. Because any hearing, right? Me hearing my own voice is me hearing my voice not only bounce off the walls in front of me, but vibrate off my own bones, right? I'm hearing just bones rattling. At the deepest core, each of my actions is just earth churning. And so in that grief, in that deep, real, heavy, burdensome, and, tectonic grief, we can let these volcanoes of our rage, of our shouts for justice, erupt. Knowing that there's no right way for this to happen. There's no righteous mountain and unrighteous mountain. There is only shifting earth and tension that gives way to eruption, to release, to movement, to breath, to life and death, again and again, in the same motion. So we'll go through, what time is it, 12:50? We'll go through 2 times through the whole thing. Just breathing together. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. Like a tree planted by the water, we shall not be moved. The dog fell asleep and just woke up, so we'll take a breath with her to calm down. It's okay, Stella. I'm gonna sing. Look. Yeah. Can I sing? think she said yes. We'll try again. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. Like a tree planted by the water, we shall not be moved. Okay, we're gonna move for Stella. It's nice that it's, if you're watching the recording, thanks for staying, but it's just me and Anne, so we can make accommodations for the dog. You can only sing with the consent of all beings around you. So I'm gonna move upstairs because she does not like stairs. Okay. Sorry, Stella. Okay. We'll do one final refrain together. We'll just close it out. Take a deep breath in. Let it out slow. Even this little bit of chaos. Just a movement of all our practice, right? Yeah. A reminder of all of our needs arising in every moment. And the fact that we have to pay attention to them. Each hesitation is a discomfort, is a invitation into knowing ourselves a little deeper. So today we'll practice perhaps our breath work before we end. We'll sandwich a little in here. I rambled a lot, so we lost track of time, but I like it. It was a really nice session today. But we'll do a little box breathing Okinaga combo kind of mashup. So today we'll breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth as normal, but we're gonna pause in between as well to really examine that feeling of fullness and that feeling of depletion and what's beyond just that immediate, I'm all the way full, I gotta breathe out, or I'm all the way empty, I gotta breathe in, right? What happens if we pause there? I think one of the helpful things for me in Okinaga practice is some days when I feel unable to breathe in for the full amount, I still can say I'm trying to breathe in for 15 seconds and I can only do 10. Sometimes I'll just breathe in for 10 and then find a way to relax while holding my breath for that last 5. And then on the exhale, I'm so much calmer than if I had tried to take a quick reset breath and then figure it all out, and try to retime myself or just try to push myself to keep breathing, figure it out. There's something really to examining those pauses and letting yourself live there for a second and not judging the fact that it's a pause, but just saying, oh, something, just like something can pull me forwards, backwards, side to side, something can anchor me. That can be a pause, right? Hesitation can be an anchor into exploration of what's right here in front of us. So we'll take a few breaths together, take a nice clearing breath in, let it all out. And we'll inhale. Hold. hold, inhale, hold, exhale, hold. Inhale, hold, exhale, hold. In, hold, out, hold, in, hold, out, hold. Let your breathing return to normal. Just take a moment to notice how you feel right now. As we close out together with the refrain for Palestine, thanking Mother Harriet for this practice, thanking our ancestors, thanking Tara, thanking the Medicine Buddha, Lama Rod, everybody, all the beings that showed up so we could practice today, including ourselves. We thank them. And perhaps we practice that trust we've been trying to build in ourselves right now. Do I believe these words I'm saying? Do I trust myself? As we inhale and sing together, Palestine will be free. Palestine will be free. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. Thank you so much for your practice today.